edition of NFL Prime Time. Sunday Night Football goes international. Niners-Cardinals from Mexico City coming up.
México, mi patria. Hoy el sol ilumina como nunca. ¿Por qué?
Mijo, ¿a dónde vas?
A jugar fútbol.
Amigos, se estará jugando fútbol en el Estadio Azteca esta noche. Pero no nuestro juego que conocemos y amamos. Sí, fútbol, pero americano.
La NFL llega a la Ciudad de México. Muchísimas gracias.
Amigos, ¿entienden la importancia? Es la primera vez que se vive la pasión de un juego de temporada regular.
¡Aguas!
La temporada es nueva y los equipos apenas agarran fuerza. Los 49 de San Francisco enfrentando a los Cardenales de Arizona. Ambos necesitan desesperadamente de un triunfo. Por solo un día, México. El fútbol americano es nuestro.
¡Ey! ¿Quién quiere jugar un americano? ¡No!
We're in Mexico City at the Estadio Azteca with 105,000 fans to see the first NFL regular season game ever played on international soil. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. It's great to have you with us. There is obviously tremendous interest in American football here. So much, in fact, that some of the local media are calling this the Mexican Super Bowl. Now, it's certainly not that for these teams, but it is important, especially since they both started so poorly. Arizona's 0-3, and Joe, that's certainly not because of the wide receivers.
No, it isn't, Mike. Both of them have the Cardinals have a sensational pair of wide receivers, but tonight they get to have a different quarterback throw to them. Josh McCown, he's the guy that's going to take over for Kurt Warner, who has a bad groin. And when you look at these receivers, somebody like Anquan Bolden, what an incredible young man he has come on. A couple years ago in 2003, had 101 catches, more than a rookie record. Then Larry Fitzgerald, 13 receptions against the New York Giants in Week 1. Both of them have established themselves as true stars. And, Mike, they're going up against a defense that's given up the most points in the National Football League.
And, Joe, thank you. It has been an awful tough start for San Francisco. They are so beaten up on defense, as you said, especially in the secondary. Can they even slow down those great wide receivers?
Mike, tonight is a huge challenge for the San Francisco defense. They've already lost one half of their starting secondary. And we found out about an hour and a half ago that their best player, linebacker Julian Peterson, will not play. But the good news is they have defensive end Brian Young and the rest of that front seven. And tonight, in order to slow down those great receivers, they're going to have to be in the face of Josh McCown all night long.
All right, thank you, Paul. ESPN presents Visa SkyCam. Innovative technology on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Visa SkyCam provides unique and memorable images from angles that no other single camera in the world can achieve. And we're excited to bring it to you every Sunday night. When we come back, one of the greatest players ever puts this game in perspective.
Bud Light salutes the football fans of San Francisco and Arizona, where the game is always on and the Bud Light is just right.
Welcome back to Mexico City for the Niners and Cardinals. Perhaps the greatest offensive lineman in NFL history, Anthony Munoz, is the ambassador for this game. 13 seasons, 11 Pro Bowls, 2 Super Bowls, inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1998. Anthony, as the only member of the Hall with Mexican heritage, what's the significance of this game for you?
Well, it's huge for me. You know, I was born in California. I'm an American citizen, but I've never forgotten that my grandparents were born in Mexico, came up to the United States, and I was born in California. So I've always been very proud of my heritage. And to be down here with the packed stadium and to see the excitement, it means a lot for me.
What is the connection of these folks here to the American game?
Well, this isn't the first time I've been down. Probably a dozen times football related. Not in big cities, but in pockets, other little pockets. And I've seen the knowledge they have for the game, the love they have for the game. They know so much about American football, and it's exciting to see that there's a regular season game here this year.
Given this atmosphere, and it's so loud and crazy, what's it going to be like for the players on the field?
Well, I can say one thing. I think it's going to be great for the 49ers. It looks like they're in San Francisco. A lot of Niner fans. You know, you have 100,000 fans. It's going to get you pumped up.
As honorary captain, you're off for the coin toss. We're off to break. When we come back, the first ever regular season game outside the United States.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome back to Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. They are estimating a crowd tonight of 105,000 people. This stadium was specifically built for the 1968 Olympics and is the only stadium that has hosted 2 World Cup finals. Those occurred in '70 and '86. This was the site of Bob Beeman's world record long jump, where he shattered the record by 2 feet. This is Mike Nolan, his first season as the 49ers head coach. He has been associated with this game between he and his father, Dick, since he was a child, and has had a tremendous reputation as a defensive coordinator throughout the league. His first shot at having a head coaching job. And Denny Green, who had such tremendous success as the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, 8 playoffs in 10 seasons, trying to turn it around in the desert. He is off to his second straight 0-3 start, however.
I wonder what it would take to slow down Mike Nolan. He is so energetic. We sat there in a room with him, and I tell you, you get fired up just talking to him. All you got to do is sit back and listen, and you're ready to do the game.
He is thinking of so many things at the same time. He starts arguing with himself on occasion. Joe Nedney to kick off, and Reggie Swinton, number 87, is deep as the Cardinals will get the ball. And Swinton watches Nedney nearly kicking into the stands. Nedney's got a great leg anyhow, and we are at altitude. Up front for Arizona, Leonard Davis, the former #1 pick, can be a dominant player, but he has also been very inconsistent. Larry Fitzgerald is off to a hot start in his second year. He's in the top 10 in both catches and yards in the NFL. With Kurt Warner's injury, Josh McCown is back as the starting quarterback. Last season when the Cardinals won 6, he was the starter for all of them. And McCown is wired for our Sunday night football game. It was going to be Kurt Warner, but of course he suffered the groin injury a week ago. The numbers on McCown, and there is Kurt Warner. They are hoping he'll be back sooner than later. They did go out and sign Rohan Davey as an extra quarterback, which some people interpreted as meaning that injury would last longer. Warner, by the way, playing on a 1-year, $4 million contract for Denny Green. Marcel Shipp is the tailback. And McCown to throw on first down. Under pressure, hit the ball loose. San Francisco has a touchdown. Corey Smith.
It is now. Corey Smith was hit as he went towards the goal line, fumbled, and the 49ers still got on it.
Michael, I said in the opening that defensive line with Bryant Young, the one thing that they have to do in order to slow this offense down is get in the face of Josh McCown. Look at this. I mean, they just fired up the middle.
Bryant Young.
That was Bryant Young.
Yes, it was, Paulo.
And he just smothered them. The ball comes out, and the 49ers are on top.
See if it was Smith or Moore who got to it. 56, it's Brandon Moore, who was starting for the injured Julian Peterson. And what a start for him. Joe Nedney is on for the point after. Well, if you're a defensive coordinator, you got to love this. You score on the first play from scrimmage.
But then on the other side, if you're an offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals, Keith Rowan in his first year is thinking, oh, gosh, this is all I need.
That's 5 sacks for Bryant Young. And how difficult is it to get a sack out of a 34 as a defensive end? It's almost impossible most of the time.
And how tough is it to play 12 years for the same organization?
That's right. He is the only link to the Super Bowl years. Let's go to Susie Colbert.
Well, that Bryant Young, he's the last link to the Niners championship team 12 years ago, his rookie year. And we asked him why he remains a Niner through all the down years. He answered emphatically, he is committed to the brand. To him, the 49er brand is synonymous with history. All the people that came before him laid down a legacy. And it's every guy's responsibility to carry it on, pass the torch. He mentioned guys like Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott. So he reaches to the young guys, practice the way champions practice, take that to the game. And he said, if you start believing in the system and yourself, great things can happen.
And Susie, they just did, as the 49ers get on the scoreboard with 9 seconds only has ticked off so far. Swinton 9 yards deep. He'll keep it there. McCown wired. Here's what the last play sounded like.
I've heard that sound way too many times. We didn't need to do that. That brings back memories for me. I've heard that sound many, many times.
And that came out of the quarterback.
That's down deep, too.
Derek Smith will get credit for the touchdown because Moore fumbled at the goal line. So 3 Cardinals were in there on the play. And Ship, only about a yard. Anthony Adams with the tackle. Injuries up front. Bryant Young, the last link to the Super Bowl era. He's had a good start, tied for second in the NFL with 4 sacks and already has one tonight. Derek Smith, the anchor on defense. He's made more than 100 tackles every year of his career, and injuries have wrecked the secondary. Tony Parrish is the only starter with more than a year in the NFL. McCown on the bootleg. Floats to the sideline and too high for Fitzgerald.
This is the one thing that Josh McCown is different than Kurt Warner. His mobility to be able to get on the edge, get outside, and get away from the rush. And what we saw in the first play, I think that's going to have to be a primary part of the Arizona Cardinal offense.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Anquan Bolton was down the middle of the field. McCown couldn't see him, and he was wide open.
I'm surprised his eyes are still adjusting after the first hit.
Bryant Johnson comes as a 3rd wide receiver. And McCown going to roll to his right again. On the roll and throws over the middle. That one was batted down by Jeff Ulbrich. Had a crack at an interception. That was intended for Bolton.
Well, I'll tell you what, these linebackers, I said about Bryant Young in the front 7. That includes these linebackers. And man, are they active. Look at this.
Yeah, and you cannot throw back in the middle of the football field against most defenses, in particular against a 3-4, because that offside linebacker you lose vision of.
Well, Mike Nolan said, why a 34? We've got more linebackers than we do defensive linemen. Otis Amy is back to take the punt at his own 38 and taken down there. The Cardinals covered it very well for a loss of 1. Good play by Adrian Mays, the strong safety. It's 7-0 early from Mexico City.
Can you be a poker player and not have a nickname?
They call me the Quiet Lion.
Kamikaze Korea, baby.
It's awesome, man. Great grammar.
I love the colorfulness, the different characters it creates.
Crazy who's the professor of poker.
Empty seat. There's like 27 Steves and 80 Petes.
It's easier to remember a nickname than it is to remember the guy's real name. It's Miami John instead of John Cernuto.
Geography has always been a popular source for finding a nickname.
Amarillo Slim.
Texas Dolly.
Crazy Canuck. The Flying Dutchman.
Give me the money, damn it!
At the poker table, you may find yourself next to a master.
You sit next to man the master.
I move furniture, man, for a living. Now I'm sitting next to you.
My nickname is Mike Mouth.
God shall give it, and God shall take it away.
My nickname is Wookie.
7-0 early in the ball game from Mexico City. The Cardinals give up a touchdown on their first possession, then go 3 and out. Now it's San Francisco's turn on offense from its own 37-yard line. Kevin Barlow hit as he got to the line of scrimmage, just buried as he got there. Injuries up front for that 49er line. Jeremy Newberry has a bad right knee. They kept him out of most practices so he can play the real games on Sunday. Brandon Lloyd is off to an explosive start, averaging over 22 yards a catch. That's 5th in the NFL. Tim Rattay is the quarterback, not top draft pick Alex Smith. He'll keep the job as long as he plays well and leads the team. Lloyd, Amy, and Morton are in as wide receivers. Split backs behind Tim Rattay. Cardinals come on a blitz, and the quick pass is incomplete, intended for Johnny Morton. Raymond Walls on the coverage. The Cardinals defense looks to Bertrand Berry for a pass rush. He led the conference last year and has 3 sacks this season. Carlos Dansby is a playmaker. In just his second year, the former college safety has 2 of the team's 3 interceptions. And Adrian Wilson is a solid all-around safety. He's their leading tackler, averaging 8 a game to start the year. Rasheed Marshall is in as they go to 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 11. Rattay, draw play, Barlow. Bounces off one of his own men, dragging tacklers with him, but only gets out to the 42, and that'll be short. James Darling, the middle linebacker, and Adrian Wilson, the safety, came up to combine on the tackle.
This is a good call because you're not doing anything right now, and everybody says this, and it's really true, and all of the coaches will say it. Punting the ball is not a bad thing. You know, you had 3rd down and 11. That's a long way to go for this football team,
especially when your defense is playing as well as it is.
Reggie Swinton trying to break a streak of 193 games. That's how long the Cardinals have gone without a punt return for a touchdown in the NFL, the longest in the NFL. Andy Lee hangs it up, and it won't be this time either. 41-yard kick, no return. They'll spot the ball near the 17-yard line, and Arizona will get a chance to go on offense from there in a 7-0 ball game.
ESPN Sunday Night Football, brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you? Budweiser Select, brewed for a crisp taste that finishes clean. Be selective. Kia Motors, Kia, the power to surprise. And NBA Live 2006, their moves, your control, in stores now.
Mexico City, one of the largest metropolitan areas in the world. It's home to approximately 22 million people. Two tight end setup, and Marcel Schipp is the single setback. McCown to throw again, nearly intercepted.
That's the same pass that Tony Parrish almost picked off. Actually picked it off a week ago against the Cowboys, and he almost does it again. Watch the left part of your screen. He just guesses and jumps the route. I mean, that hits him right between the double threes.
And Parrish, one of the great interceptors in the NFL. No one has had more since 2001.
We're going with 2 tight ends now and 2 wides.
McCown changing the play. Short set, throws out Bolden. Runs into 3 guys, taken down to the 25. McCown wired. Moments ago, he was talking to Kurt Warner.
He dropped the safety down. He came down hard here. This guy came out here. So they just buzzed to cover 3, but there's nobody back here.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, this guy's got to be coming over, but he didn't. But this safety came screaming down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Josh getting some really great input from a guy that he considers a true mentor.
3rd and 2. McCown to throw again. Good protection this time. Over the middle, complete, and that will be enough for a first down to Brian Johnson.
Kurt Warner is the one guy that Josh McCown did not have a problem with coming in and taking over his quarterback here. They're represented by the same person. They've been friends, and he looks at Kurt as a mentor. There you saw him sitting there processing information. Now, it's important that Kurt understands that next time they get that play, that's what Kurt was talking about. And you have to consider yourself, after 9 games, or consider last year, after 9 games, McCown was sat down by Denny Green. So this is an opportunity for him.
J.J. Arrington, 2nd-round draft choice, has checked in. Fitzgerald to the 45. There is a marker down. We'll check that out.
It's coming back because Arizona, they were in motion, and they broke up field.
Ed Hockley, our referee.
There was no foul. The formation was legal.
So that turns into a good play for the Cardinals on a first down.
Well, what they ought to do is mark the ball where the reception was made then.
There was no penalty on the play.
Larry Fitzgerald, middle of the slot, breaks up. Now he just goes into the soft spot. Remember, this secondary is depleted. I mean, you know, Shante Spencer is the corner that has to come in and make the play. I think that's how Arizona has to attack this secondary. They've got to spread them out. Figure out a way to get the ball to number 11 and number 81.
Ian Badejo is a blocking back in front of Shipp, and Shipp will try to go to the outside. The one thing San Francisco is desperate to do is get its defense off the field every once in a while because they've played so long in the first 3 ball games.
Well, this defense here can't hold up that long, especially in the secondary part. If the front 7 is solid, they have no problems there. But once, like Joe said, in the back, you're missing 2 starting cornerbacks from that secondary.
And we saw Marcel Shipp there. He's another guy who's fought to get into the lineup.
McCown throws this one out of bounds. Let's check in with Susie.
You know, guys, it's been such a roller coaster ride for Josh McCown. When Denny Green was hired here last year, he praised him. What a great quarterback. Then unexpectedly, the night before their Week 10 game, he benched him. McCown did get the job back, but by default because of injury. Then he watched them sign Kurt Warner. And he told us yesterday, yes, it was tough, but a true team player. He truly bought into what the coach's plan was, and he took it to heart. And he said, yes, sometimes he woke up angry, but if you immense yourself, it's all about the team. That's how you get through it.
All right, thanks, Susie. Ian Badejo was the single setback. This pass complete to Brian Johnson, and Johnson has a first down. You know, when you go back to looking at what McCown went through last year, the team was 4-5. He was close to having them at 500. He was replaced by Sean King. That didn't work. Then he was replaced by John Navarre. That didn't work. He must have had a feeling at some point, hey, you got anybody else that's ever played quarterback?
The thing that hurt the most is they won 3 out of 4 games with him. I think that hurt more than anything. He had this football team winning.
Well, he's got them on the move now. They're down to the 34-yard line, 1st and 10. Good play fake that time. McCown with plenty of time to throw. Overthrows Johnson. He was covered by Ulbrich.
Mike, he has got Anquan Bolden, number 81, absolutely so wide open going to the corner. He didn't take the deep route. He took the short route and didn't happen. There's Bryant. He's going across the field. Now up top is Anquan Bolden. You saw him at a glimpse. He just flat overthrows this one. Now there's Bolden. This is what he does to Spencer. Look at this. If you're a quarterback, I mean, you got to think touchdown.
Well, the other thing about it is he had all day to throw the ball. The defensive line never got off the line of scrimmage. He could stand back there all day.
And that was Shante Spencer, a guy who's been starting. Some of the other guys, you might say, that's why they're confused, because they're just being thrown in there. McCown getting everything he can, goes head first, and where they mark it, he'll have a first down. That's very dangerous.
Boy, is it ever. I'm going to tell you, he is a tough kid, but I'm going to tell you something. You're not using real smarts here. He breaks to the outside. He's forced out of the pocket. All right, get what you can and get out of bounds. Don't take on the defense.
I disagree with you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I think what happens is when you look like you're going out of bounds, defenders tend to slow up most of the time. So you can plant that foot and dive. I like what he did right there.
I don't.
I know you don't.
Because they don't have anybody behind him.
Hey, they've rotated people through before.
Fitzgerald, the man in motion. McCown for the end zone. Johnson too far.
Johnson actually stopped. He stopped in this route and didn't continue to the end zone. And McCown threw the ball to the corner. Look at Warner's left. He said, man, you can't stop on a route.
He's got people running down this football field wide open a lot of places. You take a look. Watch the slot right in the middle. Watch him go right down the middle of the football field. This is double zone. The safety's out. The safety's gone. Look at the middle of the football field. Look at it. There's nobody there. All you need to do is look a little bit to your right, hold the safety, and I consider that the second touchdown opportunity he's missed.
They lost Ahmed Plummer. He'll have surgery on his ankle. Mike Rumpf is lost. Draw play, Ship. Room to run. Got a couple of really good blocks, and Ship inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
Boy, I'll tell you, this is great movement by Ship. Marcus Douglas almost has him in the backfield. Watch this play here. Boom, boom, and then watch Ship. Look at his feet. He's back to the outside. Look at Ship, and why this guy, they're down on him, I don't know. But when he gets back on track, he's at full speed again after one step.
This guy should never be out of the starting lineup for Denny Green. Let J.J. Arrington, the rookie, spend his time learning how to play the game.
Ship again. Lost the ball. San Francisco's got it. Derek Johnson, the rookie.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
This will be the second defensive touchdown. Travis Hall knocked it away. Derek Johnson goes 79 yards. Holy cow.
Here I am trying to get the kid a job.
You did. But I'll tell you, this is the quickest way I know to lose it, is to fumble the ball inside the 20-yard line, and it's returned for a touchdown. This was just heads-up play by this strong defense. And I say strong defense. I don't care about their secondary. They got that front seven that's going to annihilate you. Take a look at this play. Boy, is that heads-up football.
They have got a rookie, Elton Brown, play in the right guard position. He's the one that Bryant Young beat before, and Travis Hall makes the play that time. The issues for the Arizona Cardinals have been in the first 3 games.
Well, Dennis Green put it very succinctly the other day. He said, quote, it's not working, unquote. Boy, it's sure not in the first half. 14-0 San Francisco. Both touchdowns from the defense.
This is the best way to keep your offense off the field.
When a box passer prepares, he's only thinking of success. He's only thinking of destruction. But to conquer, he must obliterate the hopes of his opponent and be the only man standing. Fight Night, only on ESPN.
San Francisco's offense has 3 yards tonight. Courtesy of their defense, they're up 14-0.
They've been on the field for a minute and a half. There's a man who should be upset. Leonard Davis, 366 pounds. Just couldn't get down to make the cutoff block. And they're asking him to do something I don't believe he can do. I don't think he's quick enough to do that.
Reggie Swinton. Oh. And Swinton is just unloaded on. The 49er defense, that time led by Terry Jackson on special teams, are just unloading on the Arizona Cardinals.
ESPN Sport Legends presents Oscar Robertson. Oscar Robertson proved his basketball greatness for all time when he averaged a triple-double, 31 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 11 assists for the entire 1962 NBA season. No other player has cleared that bar.
I said Michael had like 6 or 7 triple-doubles, and he thought that was great. I said, well, I played against a guy named Oscar Robertson that averaged a triple-double for an entire year, 82 games. Now, if that was great, how good was Oscar?
He averaged a triple-double for a whole season. I could never compare it to that. I really found out how good Oscar Robertson was when I was trying to accomplish the same feats as him.
You knew where he was going to go. You knew exactly what he was going to do, but you couldn't stop him. That's greatness.
The 49ers have shown some defensive muscle and have scored twice on that side of the ball to lead the Cardinals 14-0. Arizona has it back at its own 18. Ship. Maybe 2 yards stacked up by a host of
you know, you're talking about Leonard Davis as big as he is, 360 pounds. We may have a fighter, but Leonard Davis, you're asking this guy, Travis Hall is so quick, and he's playing almost over the guard, and he shoots the gap between the guard and the center. And what you're asking Leonard Davis to do is to block down on a guy that quick that's already stunning into that hole. You can't get there. I'm sorry. The only way Leonard Davis could do this is by holding.
Falta personal, la ofensiva. Número 75. Segunda down.
Little Spanish.
Ed Hockley, nice job. It's a personal foul.
No matter what language you say it in, it's number 75.
All right, look at this. There's Travis Hall come down. Look where he's shooting between the guard and the center. And look at Leonard Davis. Now, you're asking him to block down. Travis Hall gets his arm out and knocks the ball out from Chip. But this is, I mean, you're big enough. If you're going to do something, you better hold him. You're better off with the penalty than you are with a fumble.
Well, he did something else on the last play. He got a 15-yard personal foul penalty. A little trickery here. Ship pushed out of bounds.
That's a good way.
After he reached the 25.
Well, Leonard, all right, here's Leonard Davis, number 75. You talk about some frustration. Oh, man. Andre Carter hit him right in the mouth. Now, what I don't understand, he should have been ejected from the ball game.
It's early, Paul.
I don't care.
Well, there's another one down.
Frustration on the part of the Arizona Cardinals.
Frustration is no call for stupidity.
The 49ers are just stepping up and hitting them in the mouth every way, and they're on their heels.
Mexican fans are getting their money's worth. They got a regular season NFL game, and now a hockey game's broken out.
And possibly a prize fight a little bit later.
All right,
after the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness defense, number 36. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Shante Spencer, the second-year man out of Pitt.
Those are the kind of plays that Mike Nolan just can't have his football team commit. You've got them backed up, a big penalty. All right, they made, you know, a few yards on the screen, so it's 2nd down and 6, but you're still in a position to keep them pinned in. and all of a sudden you go make that foul.
And you're right, you cannot let this explosive offense on the wide receiver part of it get back in the ball game.
7-2-3.
J.J. Arrington, the rookie out of California who has struggled as a running back, is in there. He is averaging only 1.1 yards a carry.
And this is a formation spread out. You see how the Arizona Cardinals are spreading out the 49ers secondary and linebackers? I think this is a formation they're going to have to feature.
Here they come.
Come with 5. The pass complete to the tight end Teo Johnson, only his second catch of the year. Tony Parrish and Derek Johnson combined on the tackle. You're not going to get much out of the tight ends for the Arizona Cardinals.
Is Tony Parrish tough?
Oh, he's wicked.
Boy, I'll tell you what, when he hits you, it feels like a linebacker.
This is his 116th consecutive start to start his career. Herman Edwards is the only guy who has passed him as far as games to start a career. Arrington hit in the backfield, and down he goes. Derek Smith shot the gap, and J.J. Arrington now is averaging less